Now on Denver 7 News at 5, a tragic scene leaves a usually quiet Loveland neighborhood shaken.
And then I've never seen so many cops come at once. That was not normal for this neighborhood for sure.
We talked to neighbors about the shooting that left 2 people dead and break down the connections between the victims and the suspect.
Everything's gone, everything is gone. The whole life is gone.
The death toll continues to rise from historic floods that have claimed more than a dozen lives. The desperate search for survivors.
Plus, lifting up Latino entrepreneurs. We take a look at a new program that's making sure all businesses have the opportunity to grow.
I'm going to buy Mama a new house and Daddy a new car.
And what would you do if you won $1 billion? Will Coloradans line up for their chance to find out?
And first tonight, look at this. On your screen, a land spout formed near Buckley Air Force Base in Aurora. That was just within the past 45 minutes. You likely got the alert on your phone.
And Air Tracker 7 was flying when this was happening and got this view. So this triggered that tornado warning in Aurora and out near Denver Airport, and some flights have been delayed.
So let's go right to meteorologist Stacey Donaldson. The warning expired about 15 minutes ago. That was a wild half hour, 45 minutes or so.
It really was. Some mean-looking thunderstorms there on the east side of the metro area, stretching all the way from the airport down toward Castle Rock and into Parker. But we did have that land spout where the rotation starts on the ground versus starting in the cloud and coming down and touching down. So we did have some intensity to these storms as they were filling in here across the eastern portion of E470 up toward the airport. And of course, there was enough rotation with that land spout that the National Weather Service issued a tornado warning for the area. But at this point, we still have a lot of heavy rainfall here on the east side, all the way down toward Castle Rock with lightning as well. Otherwise, here in Denver, not a whole lot is happening, but we will still continue to track these storms as we head through tonight. We still have flash flood watches in the high country, flood watches to our south, but no severe thunderstorm warnings or any more tornado warnings at this point here for the metro area. But we'll keep tracking this as we go through the rest of tonight.
All right, thank you, Stacey. Our other top story this evening, the man police say shot and killed 2 people yesterday afternoon in a quiet Loveland suburb had been accused of several crimes, including domestic abuse and child sex assault.
At the time of the shootings, 2 different women had protection orders against him. Bayan Wang has been sorting through the suspect's history and trying to find out more about the victims.
Bayan joins us live in the Loveland neighborhood where these murders occurred. So what are police telling you this afternoon?
Yeah, Shannon and Ann, that's just it. I wish I could tell you we got a world of information about the circumstances regarding this shooting from police, but they didn't return a single phone call. They didn't return a single email, and that's been very disheartening for the neighbors here in the community who actually heard those gunshots that day, who actually saw what appeared to be a white sheet covering a body in front of this home behind me.
What's going on?
There are still a lot of questions about what went on here. We know 2 people were murdered, and shortly after those shootings, 49-year-old Javier Acevedo shot and killed himself nearby in Erie.
And just seeing our neighbors come out, they automatically said that they had heard 2 shots, gunshots, which was unusual.
Around the time of the shooting, Acevedo posted this message on his Facebook page, saying in part, "All my Facebook family, pray for me that God does not my soul in hell, because I will not allow someone to steal from me."
It's like someone might have seen, maybe a family member have seen something and said something's not right. So
in another post earlier this month, Acevedo said, "It's been almost a year since last held my 2 little ones and miss them so much. The betrayal of a woman that slandered my name. All for a house that she will not live in soon enough." We did some digging and learned that Acevedo was involved in at least 1 child custody hearing case last year. We also found several protection orders taken out against him by 2 different women and a permanent restraining order issued just last month. A total of 5 kids are listed on the protective orders. Records show that Acevedo had a criminal past that included child abuse, sexual assault on a child, and at least 1 drug charge, all dating back to 2020.
our hearts are just with the family.
We have learned that children were in the home hiding at the time of the shootings. Some neighbors say they heard children screaming after the shots were fired and then saw police carry 3 children from the home.
I went for a walk this morning and of course, walked by the house, and it's going to be kind of an eerie feeling, I think, for the neighborhood for a while.
The only activity we saw in the neighborhood today was an animal control officer capturing what neighbors say was the family's cat.
You guys, obviously a very tragic situation here in Loveland, and earlier today we saw an individual bring by flowers, place them in front of the home along with a picture of one of the victims. We're choosing right now not to zoom in on that picture because these victims have not been officially identified. And what we really wanted to know was, given the history of this victim with the suspect, was there any suspicion police had? Was there any phone calls they received from the victim about Acevedo? But again, they didn't get back to us today. But for now, we're live in Loveland. Bayan Wang, back to you.
Yeah, truly tragic. Thank you, Bayan. An update tonight, a statewide recount will be conducted for the Secretary of State's Republican primary race. Tina Peters had requested the recount after placing second in the race. Peters lost by 88,579 votes to Pam Anderson. Now, because the race was not close, she had to pay for the recount. Peters did, which cost $256,000, and she came up with the money. And now the recount must be complete by next Thursday.
If you need to take RTD R-line in Aurora, you're going to have to take a shuttle bus instead. Xcel Energy is working on a gas leak on Exposition Avenue near Abilene and Blackhawk. RTD is providing shuttles between Florida and the 13th Avenue stations. Aurora officials say the leak should be repaired by tomorrow morning.
Starting and keeping a business can be tough, especially during a pandemic and now an impending recession.
And people of color face even more roadblocks. But there's a program now that can help these businesses succeed.
Here is Denver 7's Micah Smith.
Since 2007,
I have been primarily a private practice.
Marisol Solart Airlocker has been working to grow her own consulting firm.
I'm working on doing more consulting, education with businesses around mental health and wellness.
Solart Airlocker says she built her business using her own knowledge and network.
Trying to figure out how to put it all together.
Only recently did she learn more help is on the way.
LEAP is launching today with 11 extraordinary entrepreneurs.
LEAP stands for Latino Entrepreneur Access Program, and Marisol is one of the 11 participants.
If you look at growing wealth, there are 3 ways you do it. You either grow it through home ownership, building a business, growing as an entrepreneur, or investments and inheritance. Well, we can't get to the latter without the first 2. Entrepreneurship is a key to wealth creation for our community.
Joelle Martinez, CEO of the Latino Leadership Institute, the organization behind LEAP, says the program will teach entrepreneurs how to take their business to the next level.
We have 47 CEOs, subject matter experts, industry leaders from across the globe serving as advisors to these entrepreneurs.
Martinez says Latinos are the fastest growing demographic of entrepreneurs, yet only 6% grow beyond sole proprietorship. But LEAP could change that.
LEAP is not here just to help them face challenges. LEAP is helping them to grow larger, sustainable businesses so that we are not vulnerable to things like the pandemic or recession.
So many small businesses, especially BIPOC and Latinx small businesses, don't have the opportunity to scale up because they don't have the resources that they need.
Solart Airlocker says with the resources in hand, her business and many others will not just survive, but thrive in their Colorado communities. Reporting in Denver, Micah Smith, Denver 7.
Some national news we're following this evening. The death toll continues to rise in the devastating flooding in eastern Kentucky. And so far, we know 16 people, including at least 2 children, have died. But in a press conference, Kentucky's governor says 4 children also have been found dead, but it's not clear if those are in addition to those other 16 people. And heartbroken residents tonight sifting through debris, trying to salvage anything they can.
Anything that I say would just fall short of exactly what it is that's being experienced. I know people personally who have lost everything that they have.
And with more rain forecast through the weekend, flood watches and warnings are likely to remain in effect for some areas. The National Guard has been activated to help in search and rescue, and President Biden has declared that a disaster.
An updated COVID booster is coming this September. Right now, data is limited, but the shot is expected to be stronger against the Omicron subvariant BA.5. BA.5 accounts for most of the new daily cases in our country, with nearly 88% of Americans now living in a county with medium or high risk COVID-19 levels. President Biden, who says he just tested negative again on Friday morning after battling the virus for days, is urging people to take the necessary precautions to protect themselves.
Unfortunately, this COVID is still with us. What's different now is our ability to protect ourselves from serious illness due to COVID.
Right now, only people 50 and older and the immunocompromised are eligible for a second booster, but that will likely change once this new one comes out. We want to say a big thank you to everyone who donated to our Backpack call center last night.
So you donated nearly $6,000, and then the Scripps Howard Foundation is adding $5,000 on top of that. So that means nearly $11,000 to help get school supplies to students and families in need.
And there is still time to help if you'd like by donating online at thedenverchannel.com/packabackpack, or you can always drop off school supplies at any Larry H. Miller dealership or Les Schwab Tires location. Coming up, will there be a winner tonight?
If I win, send a mom on a nice long trip.
Coloradans prepare for tonight's billion-dollar drawing.
And loyal travelers are getting more perks. How one airline's making sure you get your money's worth.